A savage in our midst, and it goes by the type of Justin, and of course the Renegades there behind him. Find success here over ENCE, not making it look easy at all. In fact, you could probably relax those memes and get ready to dive into what was this first matchup of the best of three, and this is the best of three of the day, the first one to be exact. And Sean and Chad here, we're going to start making sense of perhaps why this CT side looked very, very pretty over on the world of Renegades.
Well, I think, if you look at just the little details of teams who maybe miss it, throwing the smoke to stop, throwing the Molotov to stop the smoke wall, having good rotations in positional play, Renegades were doing it all right, and we didn't know what to expect because we hadn't actually seen them play this map officially. Now, Trace, we were excited about the best of threes, not only because it's more competitive games, but we also get to crack out the toys.
Yeah, and Christmas is over, but in this instance, we're going to let you play with one of the toys that we kind of brought in here for him together.
Indeed.
We set this up late last night. We stayed here.
Thank you. I
used the hammer actually that we were using yesterday.
We had to put the drill away. Chad was getting a little bit carried away with that one, but in fact, in this moment, we can carry you right into it. Do it, Chad.
Let's bring this bad boy up on the screen for everybody playing at home. Now, this is just a clip late within that first half. As you can see here, Renegades are going towards the top side. That's pretty standard. But what is interesting is the three players coming up rafters. They've got their basic protocols. They've got the Molotovs down towards Squeaky and towards Hut to stop the rush. But this is a quick top split. And what I like by their positions here, one of the players you can't see is just down here towards the bottom of the screen. We have this guy here and one up towards ladder, is all three of them are able to take duels together towards main. This guy can pivot around this side of the box. This guy can pivot around this side. They can all duel towards Hut if they need to. They can take lines and allow them to come out squeaky door. So this is really good because most teams you see them playing a link player coming through main. Now, that in a strategy like this, that player would get sandwiched, his get taken out of the equation, and then this top hit would probably work. But I really like the fact that Renegades have played more of a stack towards ladder in this one. So that's the basis of this, is they're just keeping it simple.
Yeah, and ENCE's strat is actually designed to take out that link player or a player top Hut. Both of those spots are singled out, or I guess even technically above the Hut in the rafters. All of those spots are singled out, but the way Renegades is playing back into the site allows especially the site player to play off of the heaven player. So basically, once that player makes contact, he swings left and then kills people that aren't even nearly positioned well enough to kill him.
It's not even in the fight, technically. Yeah. I mean, he's kind of putting them out of the fight, which definitely could help propel the round to the heights that you'd want it to. I mean, anything that we can take away from this map on the side of ENCE? I mean, this isn't the ENCE that we know to have that sort of fruitfulness, that's that sort of methodical approach to the game.
Well, I was just surprised that they weren't winning the late rounds early, and that's a lot to do with, honestly, JKS. With that one round, he had the FAMAS in the lower bomb side, and he ended up with around with like 3 kills. The round before that, 4 kills. I mean, I think he started the match with 12 frags in the first 4 rounds or something like that.
That's the JKS we need, right? And we talked about Renegades earlier in the tournament. We need JKS and Azza to step up and be the stars for this team, and Justin's done that right here, right now.
Well, they're going to have to do it again because we do have a best of 3 in our hands, as we've said time and time again. Now we go over to Mirage. This is where things start to shape up potentially a little bit differently. I mean, at least for the ENCE side of things, you can hope for a fresher start here. And yes, that's right. 100% win on the map of Mirage. That might be easy for ENCE.
Yes, and this is Renegade's pick. Let us remind you. So they are confident in it. Obviously, ENCE has a lot of footage that Renegades can review. Renegades looked very strong yesterday against NIP when they played Mirage. So I think Renegades is coming out of their boot camp super prepared for a match like this. I don't know if they're going to have what it takes to beat a Titan like ENCE on it.
This is really a super long boot camp when you think about it for them. They boot camp before the minor, they stayed here, they played the minor, which they were tested a little bit, but everybody expected them to go through. And then they had 2 whole weeks here in the same environment. They're acclimatized, that's for sure. And they're playing a good brand of Counter-Strike. And a Mirage last night when we watched them play, I was really impressed with Azza's reads. He was rotating around the map perfectly. Every time NIP went to go somewhere, they had stacked the site.
And I guess Sean is a former in-game leader, and now that we know Azza has kind of had to evolve and develop in this role, do we really think he's seeing the fruits of those labors now? Do we think that he's put on just the skills and the attributes needed to be that in-game leader that Renegades need?
Yeah, what I saw yesterday really impressed me. I praised him a lot from the caster desk over there yesterday is because his in-game skill is extremely high and he's making the correct reads.
Yeah, and that's normally the hardest thing to do, right? Because while you're trying to micromanage your teammates, you're not as focused on your crosshair as you need to be. So hopefully Kassad is helping take off a little bit of that load. That's the cool thing that a coach can bring. But looking at this team as well, going into a map like Mirage's, They play bomb site anchors of Liaz towards B, and they play JKS towards A, and they've just both had bangers of games. That means they're ready, right? So if you're hitting those bomb sites and you're delivering a mid lane like we normally see on Mirage from the CT side, these guys were expecting to get 1 or 2 kills. That's a really good sign for the Aussies.
Well, here's some statistics for you to kind of crunch into your own calculators. Not sure that there's really any formula for you to follow, other than the fact that, yes, these are the numbers throughout what looks to be at least the entirety of the event thus far here at the Intel Extreme Masters. And as we do look at Mirage, I mean, ENCE, we can kind of give them something here, right? I mean, we have to throw them a bone and say this is a chance for them to bounce back, take it into a third map. But what are some of the win conditions that are going to have to come online here for ENCE?
I think they're going to have to shut down Azza. We saw him get boosted in the window quite a bit yesterday. So if ENCE isn't ready for that, and they might not be because it's kind of crazy to pick Mirage into ENCE, they're going to get kind of destroyed by Azza's flanks.
Just quickly, the ENCE victories, which have been highlighted there as, you know, that 100% win rate, they have beat Super Jimmy, Valiant, Windigo, Heroic, LDLC, G2, and Monopole.
Let's run out there for a second. No. What was that first name?
Super Jimmy.
Strange. All right. Well, I guess you learn something new every day. Now, guys, we're going to learn something new in this map. I need to know who you've got in this one, at least as a pick. Is this going to be a 2-0 in the Renegades?
I have to pick ENCE.
I'm going to disagree. I'm going the boys.
Just so everyone's aware.
Tell me why, though. I mean, make some more sense of this. Why is it that, I mean, obviously, Chad's got this weird chip that he kind of wears around sometimes. He doesn't really want to pull for the Renegades.
No, I predict against them because when I predict for them, they always lose. So I go against them so I don't jinx them.
So I'm going to go against what I went with earlier in the tournament. I think Renegades has looked really strong. They're going to make it through this stage. Whether it's this match or later on, I think they're making it through. I'm just going to go ahead on a limb and say that they can take this map because they had such a strong default yesterday on T-side.
Well, I mean, this is the cusp of making it through. This is that sort of miraculous thing that we're seeing here. I think everybody would have put stock into ENCE coming into this one, and lo and behold, you're sleeping on the boys. That's right. It's been a slumber if you haven't been in the Renegades camp at this point, because ENCE needing to battle it back here on this second map. We do have Mirage upon us, and we do have some commentators who have been refreshed. Now they went ahead and grabbed some water, some lickies and chewies, and maybe even some game fuel. It's going to be Machine and Pimp ready to take us into Mirage.
Thank you so very much, fellas. Yes, Renegades are one map away from being the first team to qualify for the Legends stage here in the new Challengers. I mean, that is an achievement. That is a sentence I didn't think I'd be saying on day 2 of the minor, and that's, of course, no bad-mouthing Renegades. There's just so much firepower here in the Challenger stage. Renegades were an unknown entity, and we were already in, joined by Pimp, and already aggression from the CTs towards ramp, and they're going to meet a bit of resistance. It's going to be 3 very quick frags, 1 for each of Sergey, Ariel, and Alexi B, and already this round looks like it's over.
And that's exactly how you want to start out if you're ENCE right now. Like a perfect round, you know, very assertive, very aggressive, had a great idea of what Renegades wanted to do. Ending up winning it with 5 guys alive, only Ariel taking some damage. That was pretty much what ENCE needed to get back into the game straight away.
Now, let's just keep your eyes on the Renegades. Every time we cut to those players, I want to see if we can see any body language, because the reality likely set in after picking up Nuke that this map is all that separates them at this moment in time from being in the Legend stage, being one step closer to the Spodek arena, to the crowd, and to that immortalized inscription on the IEM trophy.
And hopefully that's a thought they can keep out of their head while they're playing the game. Obviously, you're right in what you're saying. They are one map away from qualifying for the major.
That's not what you want to be thinking about.
But that's not what you want to be thinking about. No, you want to be focused on the game, and you want to make sure that you get as many kills here in this NT Eco round as possible. Though it's looking highly unlikely that they're getting any.
Yeah, running into the meat grinder, it's going to be a FAMAS, and oof, Ariel paying a bit of a heavy price. Peeking from kitchen, but that's pretty much all we can write home about at this point. Just running Glocks towards B, there's Molotovs, and there is pain in that direction for now. So ENCE, they get that start they wanted. They managed to convert that pistol round X7, just mowing him down with the UMP. Plenty of cash for him to be spending as these rounds do progress. And let's see how this one continues to shape up. Now the money's sorted for Renegades to come in on the 3rd with their AKs. I'm intrigued to see what they did, because I got to cast their Renegades side here on Mirage yesterday, and there was, as Sean was already pointing out, a lot of options. It felt like they truly have developed this map into something with depth, and they were taking B very, very effectively at times.
And that's what's going to be interesting to see here, whatever they want to start out in a fast pace or in a slow pace. It seems like Jacob is going out very fast towards middle, taking the control, rushing over catwalk here, almost getting the first kill on LXB, but this must slow them down. The Molotov is running in towards BX. X7 is trying to smoke himself off, and you can see right now that they're falling back. That was a perfect hold from ENCE, but that one kill there between Jacob and LXB, that was the difference maker. Had he gotten that kill, they would have bursted into the B bomb site, and they would probably have won the round.
And they probably would have rotated fast. That would have pulled them off if they were trying to try and draw CTs away from A, given Azur's position. He's been such a demon in underpass. I worry for his wide angle there. He is being trained by Alexi B, or he was, past tense because he's been caught. Now he's being burnt and fragged. Sergey forces him out. Great premonition with the Molotov. And that makes numbers once again favor the Finns.
Once again, it seems like Renegades are not really sure what they want to do here. The rotation is being made back towards the BFs, but we have a guy moving over towards A as well, so it could be the case of Renegades trying to find this first peak and then being able to reposition themselves in a position where they can get into a favorable situation. Now you have Lias and Gratisfaction working for the B bomb side here. You have Ariel, he's not spotting him. They're sneaking under. This is a smart play. But Gratisfaction well played right there. And there you go. X7 has to hold his own with an SMG, and he almost does it. It's a 2 versus 2 scenario now. It's a complete open round.
Gratisfaction's bleeding internally. Tagged down to 3 points of health. That UMP just not enough. And that's a great pre-aim from JKS. What a shot, but this is a problem. He's got no health, but no problem. What a shot. Drive-by from the bench. And Gratisfaction, he's far from the bench at this point in time. Spectacular. He had a slow start on Nuke, but that is great.
What a way to answer back straight away. You have ENCE coming out with the perfect pistol round, the perfect anti-eco, but the following round right there, Renegades is actually being pressured by all margins in the game, but Gratisfaction just says no with the AK as well. You know, that was very impressive by the Australian wonder boy here with the lovely moustache as well.
3 HP and 3 bullets in his AK. He gets that frag. That was a 1v1. You ballsy boy. There we go. Saving myself.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. Still not entirely. But anyway, let's see how this one shapes up. So mid-control being garnered by Renegades, 3 of them storming up.
But look at the money from ENCE right here. Despite having the perfect pistol round, despite, oh my goodness, Sergey again coming in with the MP9. Some crucial shots being hit right now from both sides of the team. But just to move back to the point about the economy, despite having the perfect pistol round, despite having the perfect anti-eco round, you're still pushing on money here. You have Sergey with an MP9, which we just saw is not a problem for him. You have Alu with a pistol only, and you have X7 on the AVP. I'm not quite sure I understand that, why Alu is not having the AWP, but there must be some strategical reasons for that.
Yeah, Alu posted up with that 5-7. Perhaps he fancied something aggressive because he is playing A. Maybe they wanted to send that AWP to B, X7 taking it towards apps, and that is going to be the object of Renegade's affection here on Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day, by the way, Jacob.
Yeah, you too, man.
I got you some chocolates and I ate them all.
You're lying.
Sorry. First shot, going to be X7's. And that's going to be perfect, converted. Now, this is where the rotate's surely going to be coming in. But that's not enough of a warning sign. He hasn't seen enough to justify the CTs to start moving. But look how they start to crawl. It's like the Zerg. They're spreading their creep across the B site. Misses the shot. X7's going to get pressured. He knows they're coming wide, and Lias finds the frag. Looking for a second towards Kitchen, and Alu, long range with the 5-7, makes 1. And that makes it 4 left. 2v2.
Another turnaround from Renegades. A round that looked like it was going towards ENCE, but now it's a 2 versus 2 situation. Favor towards Renegades. Gratisfaction in the first shot. Lias with the second one. And all of a sudden, you have 2 rounds who was both favored towards ENCE, but you have Renegades coming back in and turning it around. Now, the money on the inside is completely down in the barrel, so this is exactly what Renegades needed. A rough start to the game, but they're able to claim it way back. They're able to fight back in the rounds despite being down in numbers. This is a very great sign for their T side.
Yeah, Lias patience to drop as well, and this was a very important trade. If Alu starts picking up scavenging weapons and everything starts to get a little too destabilized, he keeps them busy while the CTs finish their rotation towards Kitchen. Numbers would have overcome them, but perfect from Lias with the Galil. And now weapons completely taken away from ENCE, just a mere flashbang. The only investment, $200. We'll see if it's well spent. They just want to try and keep all of their weapons alive, stacked up, but knocked down like Skittles. It's going to be easy peasy for Renegades. And they're tasting the color of the rainbow in the 5th round. We're going to be heading into the 6th. Spectacular work, though, as they've managed to bounce back from what was such a dominant pistol round to nice, comfortable little lead. 3 rounds in a row.
And this is where I would like to see ENCE take a timeout here, just to make sure that they have an understanding of what's going on. Because both of the rounds the Renegades have won, it has been ENCE having the favorite. It's been ENCE being up in numbers, and they weren't able to convert it into a round win. So they must be thinking to themselves, what are we doing wrong? Are we doing some like pushes wrong? Are we doing some of the positioning wrong? Are we not reacting well enough? Because something is definitely not working right now. They opt to not go for a timeout, so it could be down to the fact that they think they have it under control and they just need to convert it. It's going to be an A-go, yeah.
Get to see the A smokes, and Jacob's ahead of them. He's just going to go wide, not checking sandwich, and you're going to get punished for that. Sergey takes 2, but that's not going to stop Alu from showing up in the kill feed as well, and that's a massacre. Look at that hold. Everyone just getting their multi-frags. Whew, okay, so that was pretty aggressive. I mean, Sean was telling me that's meta, to be playing ahead of your ace smokes. This seems to be coming back into the forefront of competitive Counter-Strike.
It's always a 50-50, because if you wait until the other team throws the utility, you may run into a Molotov, you may have to run through a smoke, so that's obviously not optimal. Whereas if you run before the smoke pops up, you get a situation where you can get catch a guy with a flash in his hand or a Molotov in his hand. So it's sort of like a gamble, and it's always a 50-50. Now, Sergey had a position where he was able to deal with it just fine, and he got the 2 kills that effectively won ENCE around here. So a great refrag coming in. Jacob with an SMG of that distance. We're seeing some insane shots right now being pulled out.
Yeah, UMP. So close to winning a round for ENCE not too long ago. This time it started at 4 Renegades. Alu looking for some mid control, but the flash is fully eaten. Wonder how many calories are in a flashbang.
50.
Ah, yeah, of course. No hesitation there, Jacob. Off. But that's about 53.
That's 50.
Sorry. So ENCE at a disadvantage here in our 7th round of our 2nd map of our first best of 3 here on day 2. Here in Katowice. Azza, he's been doing this all game, but XCB, he's not falling for that. Doesn't manage to find the frag, though. This is Azza's signature. Gets into middle. Usually Liaz is his stepping stone as they take underpass control together, and this time it pays dividends. Liaz looks like he's coming from A, though. Mixing things up. Perhaps a solo jump from Azza.
Once again, a very tough position to be in by the ENCE guys. They're 3 against 5. I would say they have to gamble, stack one of the sides, and they're doing that right now. They have 2 guys towards the B bomb side. Sergey is getting a kill on A. This is doable if X7 is getting into a favorable position. He has an AUG, and this can actually happen. He gets spotted out, though. Able to get 1 frag, it's not enough, and now the B bomb side is occupied. No, that's a big mistake from Jacob. There was no need to expose yourself, and you have a 2 versus 2 situation now. A retake is possible. Alu going in by himself here. Question is, can he find the kill?
Oh, finds the shot down to 13. Alu close quarter orping is a deadly combo, and we see it there in the flesh. A fantastic tag on Grat. Sergey finished that. And that was an accidental rhyme. I'm doing it all the time. And that will be the defuse for ENCE. Spectacular retake from them. Alu, no fear. He knows the bomb's going down. He starts to apply pressure. No sidearm needed. And that was exceptional. Nice CT hold then on the B side. X7 could have done more.
Could have done more, and we now see Jacob making a little bit of a mistake here, opening himself to Alu to allow that retake to happen, for Alu to put that pressure on the B bomb side. We've seen both teams now being up in numbers, but not able to convert it into round wins, and that's a big problem if you want to win a game like this. There's not room for too many of those mistakes. We see the ENCE do it twice, now we see Renegades do it once. Already now you can see by the money as well, Renegades are down to 0 utility, 0 guns being bought. It's down to the smokes, it's down to the deagles, and that's just not a good position to be in when you consider that they should have won that round quite convincingly. Yeah,
they're on scraps. Azza with a late smoke towards window. We'll see how much that's going to obscure Alu's view. Completely backing away. Solid throw. Strong arms from Azza. No surprises there. Liaz and Jacob going to be fully and totally known about. Nade landed on their nose. Liaz down just to 27. Do they want to boost for short here? Looks like Liaz is offering it for Jacob, and he will take it. With Ariel's M4A1.
Seems like Alexib is aware that there is a chance that it could be boosted. He's playing it smart, smoking off the catwalk area, not making any unnecessary peeks. Whereas Jacob gets another boost towards window here, and there, catch one off guard. Sergey is going down. Again, a 5 versus 3 situation.
They're playing this beautifully. It is thought about. It is well considered, but that's a problem. Alexi B, aggression from Ladder Room, cuts down to size the mid presence. That's a weapon on the floor as well. Now they've just got peanuts. It's just a Desert Eagle, but what I need to take it back. It is not just a Desert Eagle, it is JKS's Desert Eagle, and now he's getting pressured, looking for a second shot. He's already tagged up to 53, hunted down by X7. Body shot is enough. Now just Alu, 1 versus 1. He's already taken the first. Bomb's on its way towards B. Gratisfaction's having a jog. Getting that cardio in after eating all of those 50-calorie flashbangs.
What a round, what a messy round so far. Alu is having the right peak though. Oh, he spots him, so he knows the Gratisfaction going for the bomb
He's
plan.
coming.
Yeah, this
That's
should be over.
He jumped over the shot! Gratisfaction doing parkour, but it's not enough! Oh, that was cool. Oh,
what a chaotic round there was, right? Back and forth, the deagle shots being hit. The perfect play from Renegades at the beginning. We saw the boost in the middle. You were saying it was beautiful. I definitely agree. Now, ENCE able to pull it back. Alexa B getting those 2 frags from the window area. That was very crucial for them to having a chance to actually climb this round back towards the favor of ENCE.
I don't know, that can't have been deliberate. That was just a panic jump, but it did look like. It did look like.
I think you're
Jacob.
romanticizing a little bit too much.
Okay, maybe a slight romanticization of... I'm thinking Gratisfaction was playing like The Matrix.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Well, maybe he was.
Well, maybe we get to see it again. Maybe the replay operator is equally as romanticizing as... Nah, never mind. He's not having any of it. I see how it is. Still, we are entering into our 9th round of our second map here. And let's not forget such spectacular dominance from Renegades on Nuke. If you did miss that map, worth checking out to see just how refined their CT side was. Double digits and more picked up from Renegades on their defense of Nuke. But at the moment, forced to attack here on Mirage. 3 rounds to the 5 of ENCE. And it looks like they're once again going to be posturing for mid-control. Aerial's looking to contest, though. Is there a flashbang to support him? There certainly is. Forces them back, but changes his mind. A Molotov and a retreat is in order.
No damage taken really from either team. You have JKS pushing up towards slope. You often see him being in this position all by himself, and that's where he thrives super, super well. Can he catch one off guard? He can. Elo is going down. He's so good at doing these plays, Alex.
He's just a turret. Caught out with a Molotov in his hands, but he's not down and out just yet. Backing away. Frag achieved. Alu down. And his job is to clearly try and keep these A players occupied, and he's done so already in spades. Aerial staring at ramp. He'll be doing that for a while. Sergey setting his eyes towards Palace and Connector. He's conscious that mid-presence was shown, but as of yet, things have fallen silent across Mirage. Bomb scooped up into the hands of the wounded JKS, and he starts an adventure towards B.
So it looks like Renegades is setting up for an A fake. You have 2 guys currently opted towards A. They have smokes, they have grenades, so they're trying to sell the fake here towards A, causing some rotation. Asa is probably going to go up and maybe sacrifice himself. He's not going for it completely, and as you can see on the minimap right now, they have rotated. It's 1 guy from ENCE defending right now, and it's going to be X7 all by himself against 3 guys from Renegades.
Yeah, Alexi B, he started to lean towards jungle, but it's all on X7. He passes with flying colors. An exceptional double kill. It's not going to stop the plant, but Alexi B should be there in time. No, bomb down. Jake, yes, gets away. 3 versus 3. Flash high, it's predictable, but he does manage to get a bit of a tag on him. He is needing help, and that support is being cut down before it gets there. Skirmish in middle. Renders the frag in favor of ENCE. Sergey catching him on connector. Now Grat has to find Alexi B in towards the kitchen, evades the nade, and now can't find the shot. This is a problem. It's all on Gratisfaction. Has to go 1v2, but the spray's there. Aerial is the one to find the frag, and we have our 6th for ENCE. Nice solid retake from the CT side.
Yeah, and I like the idea from Renegades once again. Exactly, they're doing the right thing. They're making a great fake. They're putting on Asa in towards A bomb side, causing a rotation to be made from ENCE. But once again, the ENCE players and the individual skills right now are being showcased. X7 able to get 2 kills right there, hold his own, then followed up by Alexa B, who's putting on a lot of pressure on the B bomb side. Really put Renegades in a position where Asa had to rush towards Catwalk, then exposing himself and go down. So overall, ENCE played that perfectly fine, despite being a man down. So both teams are doing the right things right now, but ENCE is just doing a little bit more effectively.
I hate it when I'm rushing and I expose myself. That's the worst.
It's so bad.
Smoke towards top middle. Will they call their bluff? Do they push through it? It was something Renegades weren't afraid to do previously, just yesterday, as they picked up their 2nd win. Reminder, this is for legend status. ENCE already at the deficit after Nuke. Lexi Binks lined up the nade. That's going to take a chunk out of them. My goodness, it does. Takes the head off Jacob. And wow, JKS once again with that deagle. He has been precise ever since he set foot here in Katowice. And with a bomb plant as well, their B takes, weapons or not, have been enough to get feet onto the B site. They're not getting cut down in apps.
Definitely
That's for
not.
sure.
And it looks good. It looks solid. There's a clear plan behind it. There's smokes going down. Obviously, Alexa B and X7 did just as well as they could. And this is a round that is favored towards end. Now, the retake coming in. Gratis Faction getting the first one.
That's a problem. Alu goes wide on Kitchen. It's all on Aerial. He's
Oh
got
my
two. Gratis Faction. 3 very swift frags. Picked up the scavenged AK, and that was enough. They had nothing. And my goodness, taking a leaf out of NIP's book, winning a round they shouldn't with just the pistols.
And that's exactly why such a B hit is so effective. Because despite being down 2 men against 3, there's always a chance that you can get a kill or 2. Gratis Faction does this super well right here, getting all 3 kills.
Oh, gorgeous.
But it is tough to retake B bomb side. You probably tried it yourself, Alex, in matchmaking games. You have to run into B bomb side. There's so many different angles you have to check out. And if you have a guy like Gratis Faction hitting the shots, it can quickly turn south.
It is such a horrible sight. You end up, you know they're next to you in Kitchen. You know you have to jump out of that window.
Yeah, you don't want to.
Yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to be that guy that's baiting, but I don't want to go first. Either way, my absurd attempts at Counter-Strike aside, we are here in the nitty and the gritty of the Challenger stage. Just on day 2. No more best of 1s, Jacob. All best of 3s from now on. And the buy, it's down to 0 for X7, but just 1 M4, 1 rifle.
And this is when Renegades need to capitalize. We've seen both teams sort of miss out the opportunities to actually get it done. Now, he's pushing through the smoke or not? No, he's falling back. Smart move right here. But it does seem like Renegades is ready to go up towards A bomb side.
They're certainly posturing for it. Who's going to be first on the scene? Aero, I mean, that is the optimal CZ angle. It's close quarters. He's forced to back away towards default. Alu's going to be pressured with that M4. That is their win condition. And right now he's gone wide and meets Azza towards Tetris. Aggression continues. Now, potentially going to be challenging towards Connector. Gratis Faction's looking at it as well. And wow, just at the very tip of Alexi B's beautiful long locks. It's enough for Gratis Faction to find the frag. And now just X7. He's left to his own devices. He's in Palace, so perhaps the element of surprise could get him a weapon and a save. We'll find out.
That's the best he can hope for at this scenario, isn't it?
Maybe JKS chooses to, for some reason, explore Palace late. It's unlikely. Jacob even has the exit. Perhaps there is a bit of a premonition about this last CT. JKS is staring at it. I think they've worked this out.
They seem to have a clear idea that he could be inside Palace, yeah. Once again, I love Renegades, you know, being so composed. We saw them almost put through the smoke, but then again, deciding to fall back and wait for the execute to come in. You saw them pushing with Molotovs towards Sandwich. There was a Molotov on the balcony as well, and it just seemed so cohesed and so composed going into that A-bomb side. You would have seen a lot of teams and a lot of players sort of being baited into pushing through that smoke and going for that kill, but this time around, and Renegades, they're just not doing it. They're playing as a team right now, and this is a team that I could see progress to the major. This is a team that I could see go up against some of the big boys next week.
Yeah, and that's a far cry from the Renegades at previous majors. You know, they can do it locally. They can do the minor. But often the Challenger stage proved just too much of a tall task. But this is a composed squad. This is Kassad, of course, rejoining the team. Departed as a coach for a while back in October, helping pull the strings of the new roster with Gratis Faction and Liaz. They grabbed a Greyhound AWPer.
Not a lot of weaponry to work with for ENCE right here. 1 M4, that's all on X7. The rest of them are left with USPs and 1 Deagle. Jacob pushing into connection here in an ENCE. I'm not sure I like this, but he gets the frag on circuit. There's only so much you can do with a USP.
Only so much you can do, yeah. I mean, X7, he does have that M4.
That's the thing, though. When you have the M4 and there's only one guy on the team that has it, you want to facilitate them, which is just quite not happening as are taking him down. It was not him being the aggressive guy in the beginning of the round, and I think that's a little bit of a mistake from ENCE. You want to try to utilize the only weapon you have on the team, and he just wasn't able to do so.
So my matchmaking strats of the 4 pistols go B, and I'll solo hold A with the rifle is...
That's why you're on the desk, Alex, and not on the server.
Yeah, okay, Aerial. He's only had 3 frags. He has had a quiet series, actually, upon review. He had a tough time on Nuke, losing every entry duel he was taking. This time, once again, not quite making the impact he's known for.
No, it's quite unorthodox, because I think he's been one of the main factors for this ENCE lineup to rise. He's been a very stable guy, he's been a great guy, he's been putting up the numbers, and he seems to make a very few amount of mistakes as well when he's playing. So a little bit unorthodox to see him sitting 3 and 9 right now, and that's definitely part of the problem right now for ENCE. Renegades is matching them individually wise.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if... We'll talk about that in a minute, because speaking of Aerial, he's already just cut down to 15 HP. A quick peek from Gratisfaction on that ramp. Catches him on the cross towards Connector, and he's choosing to take it for info.
I love it, you know. A player that is currently sitting on 3 now, and a player that is definitely not having the best game ever, he's still confident enough in the team play and confident enough in his role that he still makes these aggressive pushes. You will see a lot of players just fall down and not do what he's supposed to do.
He hears the Molotov now. Does he choose to operate on that? The flash goes past his ear. He could punish here, and he tries, but what's that? Blinded, perhaps by his teammate. Didn't see where that flash came from. Could have been the T's above him. Alexi B, in the meantime, does trade onto Jacob. He has been master of this under window/window location. He gets here every round. The question is, what does he do from here? Looking to try and take the fight towards Connector. It's not going to go well. Alexi B catches him from behind. A crossfire now established between the double A's. And I ain't talking about batteries, despite their energy.
Oh, again, JKS is finding an opening kill on the A-bomb side. We've seen it dominate already on Alu. This is the second time in the game. He's so good in those positions, Alex. He always creates space for his teammates.
Bomb's going to be walking towards ramp. Control of middle given, but Liazzi was not expecting that. Alexi B, patience is rewarded as he finds his third scalp of round 13. Just JKS and Gratisfaction. Gratisfaction walking out ramp does get forced to drop that bomb. Sergey's the one to finish the round comfortably, a quick double. And now ENCE do start to edge ahead, 7 for them.
Very close half. I feel it's going back and forth, and I feel both teams are playing some decent Counter-Strike. It's not that one of the teams are playing bad and the other one is taking advantage of that. Both of them are playing up to their own strengths. Both of them have a clear idea of how they want to approach the game. It's simply just down to the duels, the individuals of the team, and we were praising Lias for having a great game on Nuke. He's slowed a little bit down, and maybe a little bit of that is down to the fact that T-side Mirage is tough if you're not in a position where you know exactly where to go, where to aim, or what to do.
Perhaps JKS has given up his role here, and Liaz left in limbo. It was a conversation the desk have had multiple times for this new iteration of Renegades. Where do you put Liaz when he is a JKS? But still, coming back to that once again through underpass, and they make it work. As they're not looking, what was that? Alexi B, a bit slow to clock on to the presence in middle. Lucky to have not lost his life. A chance was given. As just a little off the mark there. Still, that's a huge numbers advantage for Renegades. Operating with just 3 now. ENCE have to forward some aggression, but it's not going to work. Liaz catches Alexi B's reaggress. And now, well, this round is as good as over. X7 and Sergey left to their own devices. I mean, it's on X7 on B if the bomb does go there. I think he realizes he's not long for this world.
We have seen ENCE turn around a 3 versus 5 situation where Renegades opted to go towards B, but this time around they're not gambling on the B bomb side. You can see on the minimap right now they're rotating away, so this round is effectively over as soon as they hit the B bomb side.
As a shut down in middle, but that's all the info they needed. They know where 50% of the ENCE squad is.
Quick math.
Thank you. I'm here all week. And for 2 more after that.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
So that's going to be another round in the bag for Renegades. So, I mean, again, their T-sides are once again convincing. ENCE, solid hold as well. This is by no means over for either side. It's just going to be a very defining second half to see what ENCE can do.
Yeah, I agree, and I'm surprised. You know, I did see the game yesterday against NIP as well, but the fact that Renegades is able to play so many different styles on the T side is what's impressive to me. You see the early aggression, you see the early mid takes, but you also see them slow down and take a chill pill, so to speak, when they have that initial information and the initial map control. So they're able to be very diverse in the way they play, and that's always keeping the ENCE guys on their toes.
I think Liaz survived with 1 HP there.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Whew.
Didn't know about that, actually.
Not a single emotion shown, though, other than stress. Is that an emotion? I'm pretty sure that can be considered an emotion.
Maybe. I'm not an expert.
He was stressed.
I don't know.
Not happening.
Nope, don't go there.
Not an emotion.
See the first timeout coming out of ENCE now. I mean, I would probably have used one prior to this point of the game, you know, just to get an idea of what's going on. This seems, I would not say meaningless, because you still have guns and weapons to work with, but ENCE is constantly being pressured. And for a guy like Ariel right now, who's sitting on 3 and 11 frags, a guy that normally is the aggressive player on the CT side, it would have been nice for him to get the sort of like get an idea from the coach on what can I do differently. Is there anything I need to change up in order to be more effective or to get the kills needed in order for us to win the round? But that said, ENCE is definitely the guys in charge. So they probably have a better idea themselves of what's going on and what to do.
Yeah, keen to have the lead coming into the second half of our second map of our first best of 3 here on day 2. Let's find out how it goes. Ariel just Forced onto the sidearm alongside Alu. Couple of rifles in the hard hitters of the server for ENCE, but full buy, comfortable buy for Renegades in here to finish off our first half. Is that a little boost? I thought they could get an angle over the smoke. Maybe they can. Ooh, whoa, what? His foundation's ripped from him as a deagle through the smoke beheads Alu. And that's a step in the right direction. X7 with a very nice trade. It's late. Goes wide on the window. Sergey's there as well for JKS. They are making this work. JK perhaps could apply some pressure here as he lingers in that smoke, but they know where he is and he starts his assault, trying to find the frag. He does. And this is just a brawl. Chaos in middle. Bomb loose, but perhaps only for a moment. JK's close. He's being pressured and he's gone all on Liaz. 1 versus 3 for the final round of our first half in our second map.
He would have to work wonders now. He's being taken down just like that by Alexa B. I love the constant aggression coming out from ENCE in this round. Constantly flashing window, constantly fighting from connection, short and window. That was a picture-perfect round by ENCE, and they seem to have a clear idea that we need to stop this mid-control from the Renegades guys. A little bit too late, but that timeout proved to be effective.
Yeah, it certainly solved that problem for them in the final round, and now it's time to see the roles reversed. It is going to be our second half. We'll find out if Renegades are truly going to finish this in 2, or if we're going all the way, baby. We're taking a break. When we come back, we'll find out how this bad boy ends. It's time to find out how Renegades versus ENCE will conclude. I am Sheen, joined on the mic by Pimp, and we're going to be talking all about how the T side of ENCE is received by the CT side of Renegades. Pistol round, the first of Mirage, was a stomp in favor of ENCE. Jacob, let's see if a similar fate befalls the Aussies.
It looks like we're going to go fast towards the B bomb side. We have a smoke and two flashes on Alexa B. This is probably going to be a smoke towards short or window and then 2 flashes out. This is going to be all about Jacob and Liaz. Can they bait it for each other? Both of them exposing themselves. I don't like this.
That flash just works so well. ENCE, they're looking to go ahead and get both pistols here on Mirage. Azza might have something to say about it, though. Has already taken down one. Close quarters, he's getting pressure from every angle. JKS is trying to supply the support, but it's not quite enough. I say that. He's made it a 1v2. Aerial shuts me up, catches him. A little bit of an off angle to the side, and that will be 2 pistols.
Yeah, I'm not sure I like that play from ENCE. I mean, if you have 3 guys located towards B bomb site, I would at least bait for one of the dudes towards the B apps. But they went for the fights, and as you said, the flash worked out perfectly fine. Both were blinded and both got down. It was only Asa who held his own stance, got 1 kill, but that was inevitably not enough for the Renegades guys. They had a decent idea there was going to be a B hit, but I'm not sure I like the way they were playing it out.
They had the understanding of how that pistol was likely going to go, just couldn't quite handle it, couldn't cut it when experiencing it.
Confident move here from Renegades to force buy up completely. Only Gratisfaction is the only dude who does not have armor, who's saving up for the AVP in the 3rd potential buy round. But this one is going to be very telling for Renegades. Can they pull this one off, Alex? That would be a great situation for them to be in.
We're about to find out. Mid smoke. CT's not going to be falling for it yet. You can see Gratisfaction is going to be the first recipient.
That's a bit of a shame. He's the only one without a deagle or without armor, so he's going to be taken down by Alo.
Jacob was given a chance, a shot on Sergey, but I don't think he'll get a second as now the nades start to rain in. Mollied off the stairs, forced into the smoke. It's gone horribly wrong, horribly fast, but the question is, do they commit? Look at this, they've forced all CTs to rotate, and they just take their time. They want to regroup, perhaps implement those last 2 flashes in a smoke, and go again.
I like the way they're approaching it, making sure not to make any mistakes, making sure not to expose themselves, giving Renegades a gun to work with or anything else. This is going to be a clear 80 with smokes and anything else. And if it goes as planned, ENCE will be able to take this one pretty convincingly.
Interesting. It's like a 2-stage assault. They weaken the foundations and then they come back to finish the job. Now they start to go wide. Now they start jumping around corners, and this is a very comfortable round for ENCE. They reach their double digits, 10 now to the 7 of Renegades as they start their second half flying.
Beautiful. Beautiful from ENCE, you know. A perfectly executed anti-eco round. Despite Renegades buying up, having a little bit of utility, having deagle, having armor, they never stood a chance of winning this round, simply down to the fact that ENCE were playing it perfectly great. I do want to praise them a little bit right now. I think ENCE, you know, it's great to come back after such a deficit on Nuke. That was definitely not expected, but they seem to compose themselves moving into the second map, not really affected by what happened on Nuke. And so far, I think both teams have a great on this game. Both teams are playing some great Counter-Strike, and it's actually a very competitive game we're watching.
It is fantastic, isn't it? There hasn't really been that many stomps in the Challenger stage, to be honest. I think Tyloo Cloud9 was almost one-sided affair. And that seems strange to be saying. I'm talking about the Tyloo victory, of course, I should highlight.
Well, they seem to be pretty well playing right now, the Tyloo guys.
Yeah, as does this squad here. ENCE versus Renegades, a winner's match, a promotion game to the Legends stage. Just one single flashbang.
Look how slow and methodically they're taking the map control right now. ENCE, they know they're going up against USP, they know they're going up against the full eco, but they're not taking any chances whatsoever.
No risks. Using those nades. Still a lot cheaper than rebuying that AK. Use it all. Long range Mac 10 work from Alu. He snipes no matter what's in his hands.
I mean, if anyone.
It would be. And now this patience and slow, methodical T-take is starting to reach its conclusion. Double peaked, but that shouldn't be a problem, actually. That's a UMP on the floor. Gratisfaction finishes off the teamwork with Liaz, but the rest should be relatively simple. Azza's got another one. They're making these USPs painful. We said don't lose your weapon. Well, 2 now lying on the floor idle. Great work from ENCE to find 11th. Sure, buy round coming up next, but Renegades, they managed to make it costly.
And this is going to set the tone for probably the rest of the game. What ENCE is coming out now, is it going to be a fast-paced ENCE, or are we going to see the slow, methodical style that we have seen them practice on a lot of the other maps that they're playing in the pool right now? I think ENCE is a team that has a lot of diversity to them. I think it's a team that can play both fast but also slow, and it's going to be interesting which one they opt to go for here in Mirage, which is a map that allows for a lot of fast plays.
So I'm intrigued to see where the AWPs go for both sides as well. Alu's equipped himself with one after his Mac 10 sniper from the previous, and Gratisfaction's got a little gap towards the mid. So that's his responsibility. The bomb's there too. It's going to be Alu to challenge. This could be fun. But Grass Faction's having absolutely none of it. He's forgone the mid control and playing it passive. Smoke, of course, starting to dissipate. Potential run boost coming out here.
Yeah, not a lot of action happening here in the first seconds of the round. Once again, ENCE is playing it slow, they're playing it sure, and you get the run boost out here. Very, very well done by them. Sometimes it's tough to hit that one, Alex. I don't know if you ever tried it yourself.
I'm usually the boostee. Just kind of, I count to 3 and they do all the hard work.
1, 2, 3, jump.
Let's have a look. XCB cut down to size. ENCE have to attack with a numbers disadvantage. This is where that aim has to come in. You have to overcome the odds, overcome the numbers. A little quick boost to try and catch Azar aggression on short, but it's not to be. Quite a passive setup.
Super passive by Renegades, right? They're getting the first kill and then just decide to fall back and play it secure. Now, Azar making a little bit of a mistake here. Great shot by Aerial, and this could open up the round now.
Does he choose to push on this? The flash might change his mind. He does. He backs away towards jungle, which means it's a very easy 1v1 for Aerial. JKS barely connecting a shot. Now JKM trying to have the element of surprise, but Alu puts the barrel in his belly and pulls the trigger. Close quarters, no problem. Number still favor ENCE, but only slightly. Aerial, he's barely breathing. 4 points of health left on him, but Liaz does manage to neutralize Sergey. Now a bit of an exchange and Alu gets caught off again. Liaz, the game changer, the retaker, that's around for Renegades. He did it on Nuke, he does it again here on Mirage. Just when you start writing him out, just when you think after-plant positions have been established, Liaz lights up the kill feed with 2.
I was just about to say, if ENCE doesn't get a frag within the next 5 seconds, they should just fall back and save the guns. But then Liaz comes in again, as you said. We saw it on Nuke, we see it here on Mirage. He's on fire today, and especially in those retake scenarios, when the pressure's on, when he has to deliver, he delivers right now. That was, again, you know, simply down to Liaz winning that round for Renegades, and it's very important for them. Going down 12-7, that would have been a big problem. Now it's 11-8. The money is sort of even for both teams, so this is going to be one of those rounds we sort of practice as key rounds. Whichever team loses this one is going to be left without too much money going into the next one, so this is potentially worth 2 or even 3 rounds moving on.
This is potentially worth a legend spot.
Yeah.
Big round of Counter-Strike, and that's why we love this game. So catches him just on the precipice of the smoke to back away now. Now aggression from Aerial, not going to be rewarded as catches him with the orb. This is starting to dissolve in front of ENCE. Sergey, he's right in the open, exposed and losing jewels. JKS, the turret at CT. It's all finished off with a cherry from the resident Norwegian, and that is a big one for Renegades. They didn't lose a single, I think there was one weapon. Yeah, JKS did go down, but that's a nice little switch, a swing round for Renegades.
Super impressive once again by Renegades. ENCE changing up the pace. The first 4 rounds they played out being super slow, taking stuff methodically, but this time around they went for a fast push, but Renegades once again able to hold the ground. Gratisfaction, very important first kill. JKS holding his own, Azar holding his own. All these players are individually standing up for themselves and making sure not to lose any duels, and that makes it super tough for ENCE. So again, you just gotta give credit to Renegades. I don't feel there was a wrong call by ENCE by any means. It was a great pace of change, so to speak, but in the end, Renegades is just strong enough right now to keep up the individual skill.
And so the roles reverse. JKS, Cheeky Bean, grabs himself an MP9. He wants to go hunting. He wants to go farming. And a run boost once again. And look at that. No problem for them to deal with initially. Alu, however, thrives within that chaos and manages to take 1 down with the P250 and a second as well. Now an AK in his hands. This could go horribly wrong, but JKS's aforementioned MP9 is enough. Double digits then for Renegades. We find ourselves 11-10, nearly ready to start making wishes.
Yeah. 20 rounds played, and ENCE has still not won an entry duel in this game. That is not a stat line you hear me say often. You're probably never going to hear me say it again.
20 rounds.
20 rounds, right? And this is a guy that is known to be a very aggressive fragger, known to be a great guy, especially with the rifle. So he's not having the best game right now, and something needs to change with his mentality, as his mindset, for him to come back into this one. That's definitely not the guy you want missing right now.
And we venture once again round 22 here on Mirage. One of these 2 teams is going to be back for the next major if they win 1 game in that Legends stage, and they are 1 map away from that. It's what they trained for. Both sides been on the grind coming into 2019, and you are seeing just how close this one is. So hard to separate them, and this round may very well do it.
once again, ENCE is falling back to the playstyle where they want to take it slow. They want to gain the map control. They don't want to rush out. They don't want to give themselves any disadvantages by losing a member early in the round. Now, Alexi B is getting that frag. He is on fire on the other hand. He's almost posting 180 out right now. That was a great peek on Jakim. He's definitely picking up where Ariel is right now having the best game. And
they start to group up. We saw ENCE, when they were on the defense, punish this with Molotovs. Nothing of that ilk coming out from the CTs. That's aggressive AWPing from Gratisfaction as he's dropped himself down to dark. If they get the presence up ramp, he is just left on an island right now. He has got nothing to support him. He does manage to get one. Bomb loose. Can he find another? Surely not. The wallbangs come in, and this is going from bad to worse for Renegades. ENCE, they explode onto A site.
This has to be a save, hasn't it? It's a 2 versus 4 situation. There's still plenty of utility. JK is still going for the kill, see if he can find something. But if I was ENCE, I would just play it safe. I wouldn't take any duels, wait for them to get into the bomb side. And if that's not happening, they will end up saving Renegades. There's no way they can win this one if ENCE is not making a crucial mistake. And I think that's what they're realizing in this second as well.
Yeah, starting to back away, hoping perhaps to catch one on the exit. Alu, in the meantime, is on his way to B, having a little adventure. Maybe
he's in a super good position right now to make sure that nobody from Renegades survive. If he can make sure they can't draw or fall back from the B apps, they can only be towards CT spawn or in B apps, then there's a great chance that ENCE could go for the hunt. Now, what's selling apart from that is the fact that they don't have any money right now. You can see on Ariel sitting on $50, X7, $0, Sergey only on $100. They don't want to take the risk and go into the next round with low utility or missing a gun because they went for the hunt.
And now ENCE do start to create just a little bit of a gap between them and their opponent. There's an equal gap actually in the economy. They're not going to be able to have full rifles for this one. I say that. I think the graphic just updated. And it hadn't quite got it right. Okay, so we have got limited nades for Gratisfaction, but all round not too shabby for the CT side. They're going to try and keep this one under lock and key, and ENCE have another bite of the cherry. Back to middle. AWP in the hands of Alu as he starts to swing wide, but no real resistance. I say that, no, look at Gratisfaction.
Oh,
that's what they were missing before. Quick moves and smooth conversion takes Alexi B out.
So effective in middle with AVP. I think this is the 3rd time we see him get an entry frag in middle. That is so well played by Gratisfaction. Now it's forcing ENCE to pick up the pace, and they're going towards the B bomb side here. Alu
first?
Alu first, you know, entry AVPing, that's also a viable option, especially when you're pressured, but it's definitely not optimal. Lias, oh, he doesn't know where. He's not aware at all.
He's going to expose himself. Oh dear, caught with his pants around his ankles on the B site, and now Az is looking to clean up his mess. Molotovs are landing. Renegades, they're having that conversation. They're already running towards CT. I think they're tapping out of this one.
They have to. Look at the money. If they lose this round, there's no money being brought into the next one. Now, Gratisfaction going down, that's a little bit of an unfortunate situation. You'd see if you can recover that AVP somehow.
Not if Ali has anything to say about it. Hang on. Okay, what's he got? A flash and a grab. Here we go. It's enough. Forced off and up. Picked up as a safe recovery of that one.
See, that's fun, because we talked about yesterday, I believe, the Renegades have had some problem with the communication. That's something they've been focusing on. This must have been a communication error that Lias not at all was aware that there was a possibility they could be in short. Normally, when you're playing on the B bomb side, you always want your mid guy to tell whether they can be short or not. And seemingly by what we saw right here, nobody told Lias that there was a potential risk of somebody crawling up short. So that, again, is sort of like showcasing in its best essence the communication problem that Renegades may have. Yeah, a bit of a gap.
Something for Kassar to be perhaps reminding them of. No timeout taken. Actually, I was saying that is exactly what the doctor ordered. A Renegade's timeout is called, and I think that makes perfect sense. This is going to be their chance, their last stand to finish it in 2. ENCE so close now to taking us all the way to our 3rd map. It's our first best of 3. I mean, there is so much more to look forward to, and this match is already bringing it. But the 3rd map, if you are wondering, is Inferno.
Always.
Of course it is.
Always Inferno.
3rd map Infernos. They do live in infamy in Counter-Strike.
I wouldn't mind it going to a 3rd map, considering that both teams right now are playing some solid Counter-Strike. As said before, I think they're really playing up to some of the best right now, and you can see that preparation being brought into this tournament by both teams. Obviously, they want to qualify for the major, but I also believe that both these teams are one of the teams that you should be worried about if you're on Astralis, if you're on a FaZe, and if you're going to face them in the next stage.
I do think it's incredibly cool as well that, you know, ESL, whether mind as a quick entry frag takes the head off of Alu as he's considered trying to get some info on the cross, and that's an AWP now on the floor. Another aggression from Jacob. That's enough info, choosing to back away. You can't blame him. Down to 46, and he smokes himself off. Aerial now on the aggress. Gratz faction caught out. This is going badly and fast. Jacob has to do something, trying to stabilize. Does so. Will he get traded, though? Looks like he's getting away scar-free. Liaz, excuse me, coming from behind through the smoke like a demon. We've got ourselves a lead for Renegades. It started so well for ENCE. And Jacob makes it worse. Bomb loose. Back towards T-spawn. Sergey, they know where he is. He's already low. Numbers favor Renegades 2-1 as he then descends to dark. Bomb's nowhere near him.
This could be such a big win from Renegades. They weren't investing into this round. They had 3 weapons safe, but Gratisfaction and Lias decided not to buy. That's probably what they discussed in the timeout we just saw. That was a big and ballsy move not to go for the buy when you have 3 weapons already, but so far it's paying off. If Renegades can steal this round away from ENCE, that's going to put them in a lot of pain.
That is an if. Sergey, he's known for his absurd aim and not going to work out for him this time. That's the 11th for Renegades, and they are going to be having big smiles on their faces. Choosing not to invest and actually converting the round, that's going to make their economy stabilize quicker, if I'm right.
You're definitely right. You know, that means that they have a lot of money to invest into this round. You're going to see a full set of good utility on the team from both teams, actually, as ENCE also have a lot of money to drive from the bank. That pick right there from Asa, that is beautiful done. Lias picking up the AVP and going for a little bit of an unorthodox play as well, you know, playing around with the smokes. That's what you need to do in a round where you're not supposed to win, and sometimes it works out in your own favor, and that's exactly what happened for Renegades this time around.
One of the biggest maps of Liaz's career, and he finds himself walking through smokes, no-scoping people on stairs. That's good to see. That is a promising sign that there is no shaky hands, no sweaty palms over in the Renegades booth just yet.
He doesn't seem to be affected by the pressure at all.
The point I was trying to make before Azza started hitting amazing shots and distracting me was that it's so cool that ESL actually gave them the chance to not have to fly all the way home after the minors. I mean, that's probably huge for Renegades, not only in preparation time, but just in being able to be the very best form of this roster.
Well, you're at least saving a day or two in pure travel days, and you get to get used to it as well.
It's a LAN boot camp, that's nice.
Exactly, that's just a different environment, and it's much more focused when you're there. Whereas if you're at home, you have practice, right? But when practice is done, you start to focus on your normal life. Whereas if you're in Poland anyway, and you're at a boot camp anyway, your whole entire life is surrounding Counter-Strike. So in that regard, definitely the best possible preparation coming in for ENCE for this tournament.
Of course, for Renegades as well, Lias. He's been struggling on this B site at times. Let's see how it goes. It's 7. Oh my goodness! He shuts me up with a knockout 3 in very quick succession. Jacob's going to find Sergey, the last man on Van, and it's Alu who has to come up with a plan. 25 seconds, looking to clutch. Bomb loose on B site. He's got nothing. No hope. Eyes on the cross. He may not even get across this without a frag. My goodness, he does. Finds the head of JKS, and he is moving swiftly towards Jacob's position. Not going to be ready for that, though. And that's going to be another for Renegades. Wow.
There's nothing I love more than when a player who's having a bad game, who's struggling a little bit. Before this round, he was at 48 ADR. Coming into this one, he makes the triple kill on the B bomb side and single-handedly secures Renegades the round. I love it when players are able to step up despite not having the best showing. Yeah,
look at this. 1, 2, 3, just like that. Azza, of course, peppering them before he fell. And then there was that supportive framework in place from Jacob towards Kitchen. Now they've got pistols. This game's going all the way, Jacob. This is both teams pulling out all the stops in pursuit of legend status.
And why wouldn't they? There's so much on stake, as you said. Qualifying for the major for these teams means the world. This is what they've been preparing for ever since January, ever since 2019 was in the calendar. These two teams have had one set goal, and that is to qualify for the major itself.
Yeah, 2020's in the calendar already, Jacob. Ever since 2019 was written down in the calendar. I'm going to shut up because the pistols are starting to push towards A. And it is just going to be a nice, easy, open and shut case.
I'm sure you understood what I mean.
I did. I knew exactly what you meant, but it was just, it was enough to cause me to have a little chuckle.
Yeah, you've never been a nice guy, Alex.
Oh, goodness me. I'm going to hydrate after that.
Alu once again left alone in a situation where all he can hope for is a cheeky frag. Not getting it, Gratisfaction shutting him down, and that puts the money situation for Renegades in a very comfortable spot. All of them sitting with plus 4,000 I believe, or at least close to it. So no matter what happens in this round, they can still afford one more buy round. So that gives a little bit of a cushion, a little bit of a pillow to fall back on. And again, it releases some of the pressure on the players. They know that they still have one more buy round should they opt to go into this one and lose it.
Incredibly consistent series from JKS so far. I don't know. I mean, his average ADR must be comfortably in the hundreds after his nuke, combined now with 96 here on Mirage. The AUG does seem to fit him well. A weapon
Counter-Strike is a great fit for JKS.
It certainly is, but I truly think this weapon has actually enhanced his capabilities. He just seems very at home with it very quickly.
He sees a shadow right there as well. I think he can see it.
Yeah, he saw it just enough. The smoke's going to come out. He's trying to force them. Alexi B in the meantime catches Azza towards the middle. It's a trade-off in middle. And JKen, he's fully white. He can't find the frag. JKS can though on aerial. Aggression towards Palace punished. Now 2v2. Looking to get across. He is stuck between a rock and a hard place, or should I say a wall and a Molotov, because X7 cooks him to a crisp. Now just on Gratisfaction. Alu surely going to catch him on the cross. Ooh, that's fast. Alu, known for his speed. Gratisfaction, he's got his eagle eyes on, and now a 1v1. He could secure 14 for them. He could just dominate the money events. He's in the right place, but the bullets aren't there. Backing away now, X7 up against Gratisfaction as these two lock horns. He looks good, he goes wide. Gratisfaction's done it. They laugh about his mustache, but his clutches are serious. This is the 14th for Renegades. Two away from the Legend stage.
That was beautiful. Again, individual brilliance securing the round for Renegades. We saw Lias getting that triple K on the B-bomb side. This time around is Gratisfaction. That shot right there with AVP, that is something extraordinary. This clutch as well, playing it out perfectly fine, not rushing into the duel, making sure to flash him before and giving himself the best possibility of winning that one. It was just perfect play.
Love to see Alu's POV and his reaction. I reckon he might have even raised his eyebrows a little bit after that one, which is essential. Oh, yeah, staring at a corner in dismay.
Look at the money situation for ENCE right now. Trailing 14-13, forced into Deagle's armor, no utility whatsoever. This is going to be a tough one for them.
ENCE, after that round, after that clutch, that's just forced them into sweaty palm central. This is it. I mean, they have got zero margin for error. They almost know they're going to concede 15. Of course, they have bought up enough to challenge, enough to at least scavenge some weapons, try and turn around on its head, and JKS is already starting to dissolve that plan. Catches X7 out from his turret status in CT. Gratisfaction did mad things from the very angle he stands now, but his responsibility is middle, and looks like there's going to be a bit of a challenge from the ENCE boys there. Alu and Alexi B starting their assault.
It must be so frustrating for ENCE as well. As we see, JKM getting a double kill. JKS adding another one to the scoreboard, and now Sergey left to his own. Only so much he can do with a Deagle caught inside AAPS. What I was trying to say is it must be so frustrating for ENCE when you buy up the Deagles, you buy up the armor, but no one from Renegades is exposing themselves. No one is making one single little mistake that you can capitalize off. They're all playing back, they're playing defensive Counter-Strike, and they do it on a map that is known to be an aggressive map, you know, whereas at least for the CTs, you can be aggressive towards middle, AAPS, BAPS, but Renegades is just having none of it. They're playing back, they're playing to their own strength, and they don't care who they're playing against right now. ENCE is having a tough time, and that's simply down to the fact that Renegades is playing some of the best Counter-Strike I have ever seen this team play.
Previously criticized for struggling to close out games, now one round away from Legend status. Renegades, can they keep it together? Gratisfaction, he has been stalwart and he continues to do so as he keeps mid safe. Jacob, aggressive to underpass on match point. He will be punished for it. Alexi B comes back and deals with that threat, but up against it still. Nice catch from Sergey. Suddenly a 3v3. ENCE. Every decision, a step forward or backwards in pursuit of that trophy, every angle. There'll have plenty of shots outside of this best of three. Don't forget that. This is not going to be the end of the ENCE road, but a lot of you were feeling confident in the 3-0, so I'm sure a lot of you are looking at your pick'ems and looking at this 3v3.
Definitely, this is going to be a round decider, but you can see JKS, he's pushed all the way down in the slope area right here. He has a lot of information. The bomb hasn't even been picked up by the ENCE guys either. That's currently in T spawn, so this is most likely going to be towards B, and if it ends up being towards A, then JKS is more than prepared for it.
It's a comfortable setup. Bomb will be retrieved by Alexi B. 40 seconds, and looks to be making the choice towards B. Yeah. Alu catches Liaz. Once again, his B hold, it has been inconsistent. This time, ENCE surprise timing. Azza could get caught out by Sergey's lurk here. He's been doing it time after time, and again, Sergey punishes Azza. This may not be the round for the Renegades. Sergey ensures it, and that's 15-14. We are going all the way, full 30.
All the rounds. I'm not quite sure why ENCE didn't rotate towards that B bomb side. I wasn't more aware that this is most likely going to be towards B. You have JKS pushed all the way down into T-spawn. There's no way they can go A unless they go up to connection. And at that point, you just want to retake A bomb side anyway. And I mean, had I been the in-game leader, had I been in a position where I'm not currently about to qualify for a major, I would probably have called my teammate towards the B bomb side. But again, this is the pressure playing in. They're 1 round away from qualifying, so there's a lot of nerves on right now, a lot of stress being put upon them.
And so, one final shot before the overtime. We haven't seen OT, certainly not on the A stream in day 1. Dias Faction's having a whole lot of utility thrown in his direction. He hasn't had to pay with his life just yet, choosing to back away. Let's see. Alexi B starts to rattle off shots towards Connector. He's trying to find info, trying to show presence. They want the CTs to be investing their limited utility towards it, and they do. JKS lobs a flash this time and catches 2. Aerial and Alexi B doing the dance, but nothing to be caught.
Once again, Renegades are opting for the defensive hold on the CT side. They're not going for any interfax. They're not going to fight the ENCE guys. They believe in their own concept of Counter-Strike right now, and it has proven to be solid.
Oh, it's close. Alexi B. Eyes in the center of his screen for that one, and JKM down to just 22. He's not gone, though. Still capable. Deploying that utility keeps them at bay. 50 seconds. Will the clock become a problem for ENCE? We're about to find out. A boost, perhaps, from Azza. This is good. It's not good enough. They know there's another one there. That's a whole lot of info, and suddenly they start to sprint. This could be good for ENCE. Great work from Liaz as he stabilizes. Now 3v2. Numbers still favor the defense. And catches Gratis Faction onto Sergey. Now all on one man. It's Alu. And does manage to get the jump. Time a factor. JKM and Gratis Faction. One frag, one click of the mouse, and this could be it. Legend status for Renegades. They're doing it. On to the next stage. The first team, 3-0. Renegades.
That was super, super impressive. I'm happy on their behalf because I think they really deserve this one. I think they played some of the best Counter-Strike we've seen Renegades play in a long, long time. This is a team with a lot of history. We've seen them at many majors, but this time around, I feel it's a team that actually has a legit shot of making it far in the major. This is one that you have to look out for. I'm pretty sure that all the guys who are currently sitting at home waiting for the next stage to begin, they are noting down that Renegades is a team we need to take seriously.
Not to be trifled with. Nuke versus ENCE. Perhaps they fell into a false sense of security after their Spirit win, but Mirage is a map that Renegades can push the best. ENCE forced to continue to play tomorrow. Renegades, they can chill out, relax, and max all cool, because they are in to the Legends stage. That's enough from myself, Jacob. I think we should head over to the analysts, and they'll break down exactly how the Renegades have done what many considered improbable.
That's right. Their knees were weak and their arms were heavy. And, well, I just don't think that ENCE was quite ready for how that one unfolded. Never really got going their way. That one did go to the brink. And we almost saw a glimpse of overtime there from the side of ENCE battling it back. But ultimately it was Gratis Faction getting the ultimate satisfaction in closing it out, Sean.
Yes, indeed. And Renegades was the better team throughout the entire map. In my opinion, they lost both pistols. They managed to grind out both halves. And I thought that last round was very good that they were able to hunker down, because the second last round, it looked like they were choking a little bit. The rotations were weird. Liaz got caught twice that half in the B bomb site. But I have been thoroughly impressed with Renegades
I think it goes without saying that this is the best an Australian team has ever looked. The fact of the matter is their strategies, their clutches, the fact that they're able to win late round situations, they're able to step up as individuals, their teamwork is on point. Everything is looking polished, and for this game, they were definitely prepared, and it's shown. The fact that they've brought out Nuke, okay, of course a team like ENCE is going to pick Nuke into them. It's a good map for ENCE. Renegades yet to be proven. They've stepped up, they've done what they needed to do, and then coming into Mirage, a close game, they've had to battle back in a lot of situations. I'm more than impressed with these boys, and it's been a very long journey for Azza and JKS, so props to them for getting back to the top 16.
Yeah, that's right. They are legends, and in a square kilometers of 8,525,989, they have been identified as those that will be moving forward here at the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice Major 2019. It's been a long road for the Renegades. It's been quite an up and down process, but I think that they can rest assured that this is the fruits of that labor and that restructuring they're hoping to accomplish over there.
But lots of roster roster changes, right? You think over the years, you know, Yam, Ricky, we had Nifty in there. They even had a couple of Swedes. Nexa came in. There's so many changes to get to this point. They went back to the Aussie boys. They brought in Liaz. They brought in Gratisfaction, 2 talents from down under. Once again, Gratisfaction is from New Zealand, right?
Yes.
He's the first New Zealand player to ever play at a major alongside with Sterling, and he's made it to the top 16 in his first crack, so massive props there. All in all, some of the key points we were talking about is the veterans of the team needing to step up. They did that too, but I was really impressed with Gratisfaction and Liaz in the late round situations, playing off each other in clutches.
And we even got to see glimpses of JKS, like we're saying, be that savage we know him to be. He does have that sort of a vibe to him when he can find the rhythm, when he can find the shots going his way. This is a guy that can change the tide of entire games. You take a look at some of the numbers as they lay out in front of you, and that's where you're going to find him sitting on top with 98.8 ADR here. And, well, the Renegades, yes, it's true, they have moved on here, and I really kind of need to look at ENCE at this point and understand what it is that went wrong for them.
Yeah, it's a shocking series for them to lose. When you looked at the veto beforehand, Nuke is such a map that they're known for. Mirage, 10-game win streak now snapped by Renegades. I don't know, there's nothing really to take away from him because I think Renegades played phenomenally well, particularly JKS lurking that apps. We saw him do it yesterday against NIP. His A-holds were on point. I mean, I think Renegades just played a phenomenal game.
Yeah,
today.
I don't know if it's taking anything away from Renegades to say that ENCE would have been caught off guard by Nuke. You couldn't prep anything, right? The fact of the matter is that's a shell shock scenario. Moving on to Mirage, the thing that undid them was all the late round clutches. Percentage plays were going in the favor of ENCE. You know, they were doing all the right things, but then when they were losing the clutches, that was what really let them down.
You want to talk about a head-to-head, and we've got one for you. That's right, all the Jalalis that were spammed the chat had absolutely no bearing here. Alu coming out the lesser in terms of numbers, Gratisfaction to the right. You can see just how much pain he was able to inflict on this ENCE lineup. And, well, I think Chad said it just about appropriately and just about perfectly that this is one of the guys that you're going to look back on this matchup and say he definitely had an impact.
Yeah, he had 2 huge clutches. One, that early, you know, AK drive-by he had, I think it was like the third round of the match, where he just one-shot a guy with 3 HP. The second was the 1-on-2 in the A bomb site. It's like third last round of the match. That was a huge round where I think if ENCE wins that, their economy is looking better, and they're able to get 2 healthy buys before the end of the match. So hats off to Gratisfaction because he stepped up in 2 very pivotal rounds here.
Yeah, and what did ultimately turn the tide in the way of the Renegades. We're now going to turn the page over to the interview area. We do have Frankie standing by. She got herself a nifty little interview there with 2 members of the Renegades. Let's check in with them now.
I did. I think they were so excited they won. They actually agreed to talk to me. Gratisfaction. He was like, no, I'm not going to do any interviews with you. But now I got you, Sean. How are you feeling?
Yeah, pretty damn good. Like, obviously a great feeling.
And as a team captain, how does it feel to be a legend?
Yeah, it feels good. I mean, I've been in this situation a lot of times where we haven't qualified for the top 16, so it means the world right now. I'm very happy.
I mean, Chad was just saying on the desk, this is the first time an Australian team has made it to this stage of a major since ESL Cologne in 2015. That's a phenomenal achievement. The question is, do you think that you're going to be able to beat ENCE today?
Yeah, coming into it, like what happened with our first map, we brought Nuke into our map pool, and I mean, we've been practicing, but I mean, ENCE are pretty good on the map, but we came out pretty strong today, which was good. And coming into Mirage, I think we were pretty confident, but we lost some silly rounds where I think we got a little bit too excited instead of just staying composed. But yeah, pretty happy with how today went.
Well, let's talk a bit more about Nuke, because you guys obviously been boot camping here in Katowice. I bet this is your favourite city in Europe at the moment. And you've been practicing Nuke, but this is the first time that we've seen you guys play it on a broadcast as a 5-piece. So what were the key things that you were looking to avoid on that map?
I guess like falling into just doing random stuff, because we had practiced a lot of stuff. We knew what we needed to do. So we just wanted to make sure that we were playing our game against them and making sure that we could exploit as much of their defaults as we could. And it worked.
And Azza, that was interesting for me, actually, what you mentioned there, exploiting their defaults. You played a much slower game than I was expecting on Nuke. A lot of reconnaissance there, but maybe on Mirage, we sometimes saw that communication slip away slightly. Yeah. So what was discussed to try and get things back on track?
We just needed to make sure we just kept communication up. That was pretty much the main thing. Like I said, we screwed up a few rounds and communication got a little bit low, but I mean, we got Alex behind us, we got me yelling, so we're trying to get everyone hyped as possible. So communication came back up and we got back into it and came away with the win, yeah.
But it came to match point, though. And we were all upstairs going, okay, Renegades, not necessarily the most reliable closers. And when you did lose that first match point, did you think it was going to OT?
No chance. Just knew next round we just had to recover and just do what we do. Just coming in headshot. That was it.
Typical Australians, just always so confident. But you are the first New Zealand player, I think, to make it this far in a major, possibly ever, Gratisfaction. You've got a country on your shoulders right now. Have you got anything to say to the Kiwi fans watching right now?
I love you all. Keep supporting me. Gratata.
Gratata, indeed. I think we should head back to the desk to break down that epic match. Congratulations, boys. We're going to see you in the legend stage.
That's right, Frankie. I'm getting my best kawaii on right now because the man of Gratisfaction, not only does he have just the most beautiful mustache on sight, which we're going to dive into here, Chad. You look shocked right now.
What were you doing with your hands?
He's being quiet.
Yeah.
What is this?
What do you know about that?
I don't know anything about culture of any kind. I don't know
Chad,
Twitch
what year were you
emotes.
born? Like 1895?
I'm real old.
You are indeed, and almost as old as the last time the Renegades found themselves in this successful situation. Let's talk a little bit about what they were able to kind of tell us in that interview and some of the things that we can pull from it.
It's just they have a solid mentality, right? The way that they were saying that they were in that situation. I was expecting them to be overjoyed, right? Or maybe, you know, a bit more emotional, but this just showed that they were prepared for the victory and they did everything they needed to do. So props to them. The mental change for them, I think, has been the biggest progression.
Exactly, and that's what I said yesterday when we were casting them. I thought they were going to crumble. I've seen Renegades crumble so many different times when I watch them, especially when games get close. They were able to grind out wins against very tough opponents. I mean, they beat Avantgarde, Nib, and today.
ENCE. That's a legit 3-0, right?
It's a pass.
In the most legit major format we've ever had, right?
Yep. Those are all three teams that I had advancing in my pick'em. So hats off to Renegades.
There's no way you can invalidate exactly what happened here for the Renegades. But if you did put them in your pick'em, I'm going to invite you right now to head over to social media and use hashtag IEM, perhaps even tagging ESL along the way. And let's see those pick'ems. Let's see how you're shaping up and perhaps maybe some of your losses as well. Not everybody's going to be coming out of this one unscathed. And of course, we're going to have to go to a quick break before we go to our next matchup. Not before we have Chad do what he does.
Take it away from me, man.
Sometimes I have to toy with you there because you got that toy and you're the only one that plays with it.
He started to get real mad.
I was super frustrated. I was just like, what's going on?
Now, Chad, ultimately, when we do talk about this, we're going to start to talk about what is the late round situations that Renegades are capitalizing on.
Yeah, so this is, we had Grat who had 2 clutches in this game, but this here is actually going to be, if you look at their money right now, I should be able to zoom this one in for everybody at home. So you can see that they would have had enough money to go for like a full buy, but they've opted just to go for a pistol upgrade so everybody can have everything they need in the following. As we clear the screen, we're going to play this one out. They're just going to buy a little bit of utility behind these pistols. They're going to throw the top mid smoke. They're going to throw the connector Molotov. You're about to see that come in any second. We can probably fast forward a little bit for everybody playing at home. So smoke's going to land on Cat, Molotov's going to go towards Connector, and that is feigning the mid presence. Now they're going to congregate over towards the B bomb site. They're just going to set up a basic execute that you see time and time again on Mirage. What's most impressive about this is who ends it off. This is basically just a pistol upgrade round. You're not really investing a huge amount, and you're not expecting more than a bomb plant to come out of this. They get into the site, they get taken down. JKS is going to find a kill. That's going to drop an AK-47 on the ground. Now you need to look at whose hands this comes into. The star of that match, Gratisfaction, they're left in a very interesting position once the bomb goes down because they don't know exactly where the CTs are retaking from, so he has to play relatively aggressive. And these are the situations that Liaz and Gratisfaction pulled off time and time again. They played fantastically together, and these are the reason or the factors which turn the game in Renegade's favor.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. This is such a simple basic round, right? Like you said, feigning mid control. They're trying to pull 3 people to mid. It actually didn't work. There's still 2 people in the B bomb site, even though I guess ENCE did start with 4A. But they're trading abilities, and the way that they play off of each other in the mid and late rounds is very, very impressive.
Yes, and the impressiveness will have to continue on. Now that the Renegades have secured their spot here within the legend status of the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice Major, we now need to look forward into who else will be joining them. We do have another best of 3 coming your way, that of NRG and Tai Lu. So we heard a Gratatata there from the side of Gratisfaction, and perhaps you grab yourself some Watatata and get back here with us when we come back. We got a little bit of a short break, and then coming back, we're going to be walking you right into that matchup. Make sure you don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.